Once upon a time, in a land not so different from our own, there lived a fair and noble ruler, King Henry of Crestfall. King Henry was admired across his kingdom for his fairness, wisdom, and compassion. People often said, "Our king listens with his heart, not just his crown." One summer morning, as the golden sun rose over the ocean, King Henry prepared to embark on a long journey across his lands. He wanted to see his people, hear their troubles, and understand their lives. At the harbor, families gathered to wave goodbye, their voices filled with both excitement and worry. Among the crowd, an old fisherman stepped forward. His weathered hands trembled as he leaned on his cane. With a voice low but urgent, he said, "Your Majesty, beware the forest path. There you will meet a strange man, barely 2 feet tall. He will challenge you to fight. Do not underestimate him, and make sure you finish what you begin. If you let him go, trouble will surely follow." The king nodded politely, though deep inside he wondered, how dangerous could such a tiny man really be? 2 days later, as he traveled through the dense forest, Henry suddenly spotted something odd. Standing in the middle of the trail was a man, no taller than a child, his eyes sharp with challenge. "Oh, great king," the small man shouted, "I dare you to fight me." The king, remembering the fisherman's warning, drew his sword. The battle was quick, the little man was fast, but Henry's strength and skill easily overpowered him. As Henry raised his sword for the final blow, he paused. Looking down at the tiny figure, bruised and beaten, he thought, what honor is there in destroying someone so small and weak? With compassion, Henry lowered his blade and walked away, leaving the man alive. But the story didn't end there. 2 days later, the same man appeared again, but this time he wasn't 2 feet tall. He had grown to 4 feet, stronger, faster, and bolder. Once again, he challenged the king. Once again, the king defeated him. And once again, Henry spared his life. Days turned to weeks. The man returned at 6 feet tall, then 8 feet, and eventually taller than the king himself. Each time, the battles grew harder, each one leaving Henry more exhausted, more battered, and more frustrated. Still, his heart always softened. He spared the man every single time, until one fateful day. The man returned, now a towering giant, his shadow stretching over the forest. For the first time, King Henry felt fear. The battle was brutal. The ground shook with each clash, trees splintered, and the king was struck down more than once. His arm broke, blood ran down his face, and he could barely stand. And yet, with the last of his strength, Henry struck a final blow, and the giant fell. Standing over his defeated enemy, gasping for breath, Henry realized the truth. By sparing this man again and again, by refusing to deal with him when he was small, Henry had allowed him to grow into a monster. What was once a problem he could have ended with ease had now nearly cost him his life. And this time, Henry did what he should have done from the very beginning. With a heavy heart, he ended the battle once and for all. When he finally returned to Crestfall, his people cheered. But instead of boasting about his victory, the king shared his painful lesson. He gathered his people in the town square and said, "My friends, never ignore small problems. They may seem harmless today, but if left alone, they will grow. And when they grow, they become giants. Giants that are far harder to face. Had I ended my challenge when it was small, I would have been spared weeks of pain and near defeat. In life, no matter how small the challenge may appear, face it, solve it. Do not wait until it grows out of your control." The crowd fell silent, the weight of his words sinking deep into their hearts. Parents nodded, children listened wide-eyed, and even the old fisherman smiled with pride. From that day forward, the story of the king and the growing enemy became a lesson told around firesides, in classrooms, and in homes across the land.